when do you think that valuations are going to start to kind of decline? Because in my head, I feel like at least until next summer, these valuations are going to keep going up, because until these aggregators start to go public, I think valuations are going to keep going up. And it's kind of, in my experience, what happens. These companies, I think a lot of these aggregators are trying to go public and get some crazy multiple of revenue when they go public instead of some crazy multiple of EBITDA when they go public. And I think until they do start to go public, these valuations are going to go up, because a lot of them are going to start to get hungrier and hungrier as they get closer and closer to going public. And I haven't really seen a lot of these companies going public yet, so I think that's still months down the road where they start to go public. And when they start to go public, I think that's where valuations are going to go crazy. And I think we still have into next year until we start to see that happening.
Yeah. I think the first one that's going to go public is Thrasio. This has been kind of well documented publicly. I actually just bought a bunch of their supposed SPAC. I don't know, for people that are out there familiar with this, like, that's kind of a crazy world these days. Instead of a company going IPO themselves, they take a shell company and throw themselves into that one that's already public and trading, and Thrasio already has that. So I dumped a bunch of cash into that, hoping that they will go public and that it'll do well. And I agree. I think that what's going to end up happening is they're buying businesses largely at 3.5x. Things trade publicly at 12, 15, whatever x, and so there's huge arbitrage there for them on a multiple basis to be buying businesses at this, and still a huge delta between 3.5 to 12, let's say. And so I do think that because of that, as the supply decreases in terms of the number of businesses and the competition increases, which is happening now, there's like 70 something aggregators now. I do continue to see the multiples going up, and I think that this will continue to happen. I actually don't think that the public offerings are the line in the sand. I think that the larger economy as a whole is going to be the line in the sand. I think that there's just so much money sloshing around right now, which is crazy to me. If the Fed keeps on printing more and more money and making the money supply more, the interest rates continue to stay down, the market continues to go up in the face of anything. It's just kind of nuts. I think, I personally have been predicting that to kind of change since 2019. I've been very wrong, obviously, and that's one of the things that sucks about being in public and talking about this stuff, is that this stuff follows you around. So I'm not going to hide from it. I mean, I've definitely been wrong, and I've changed my position on this, and we've done well, luckily, because we kind of just gave up and capitulated, and just changed my attitude, because it just seems like there's an endless supply until there isn't. And so who knows how much longer that's going to be? That could be 1 more year, 5 more years. That's hard to say. But right now, there's an endless appetite of money, and I do think you're right. I do think that some percentage of these companies are going to go public. Thrasio, again, seems to be the first one that's going to do that. All 70 something, or there's probably got 100 aggregators by the time this is all said and done. All of them aren't going to go public. It's only probably going to be 3 to 5 of them, or whatever it'll be. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, that keeps on pushing valuations up, and I agree. I think until at least next summer, it sure seems like it will be on that path. I've given up on trying to act like I have a crystal ball, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to comfort level too. Like, how long do you want to ride the market up and try to catch the market when it's at its peak, rather than just accept it as a strong market and get a 4.5 valuation instead of holding out for a 5x valuation or 5.5x valuation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in the I'm not looking to time it perfectly camp, right? I mean, like, this is something I've learned over 20 years of trading in the stock market, and just realizing through the school of hard knocks, and also just reading some really good stuff over the years that just kind of helped me change my mindset. All of us are very competitive, right? I mean, I'm hyper competitive, and so my way I went into the stock market basically is like I want to buy something literally at its 10-year low, and then sell it at its like all-time high the day that it hits its all-time high before it goes down, right? Like that's what you ultimately want. And every time you don't do that, you're like, oh, I could have bought it here and I could have sold it here, which is very dangerous. I mean, it's hard to. It does happen from time to time, but like also what happens from time to time here in Vegas is you go on a like 45-minute craps roll or something, but the likelihood is that a 7's coming out 1 of every 6 rolls, and you should prepare for the average event, the mean event, and not the outlier event. And so I'm very comfortable selling at what might not be the peak. We sold color at what was definitely not the peak, and it was the right decision at the time. And my philosophy is I'm trying to get to a number where we can just retire and not have to be stressing about this every single day. And whatever helps us get to that quicker is what I'm aiming for. And, getting an extra half X or 1X or whatever valuation, while clearly is a significant amount of money, pigs also get slaughtered. And it's harder to, when you're trying to sell when things are going down, then when it's a buyer's market and not a seller's market, quickly things change. When all of a sudden everyone is trying to dump all their stuff, and it's hard to get anywhere near what the peak was. And so, at any rate, that's just another whole aside. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about just getting what we're looking to get out of our next sale, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I don't know how much I agree with that. I totally agree with you. When you're picking stocks and everything, timing the market, that's a bad idea, because most people are holding their stocks for an extended period of time, 20, 30, 40 years. When it comes to a business sale and you're looking at a 2 or 3 year time frame for exiting that business, timing the market does become a lot more important, because you can't just hold it indefinitely, or at least that's not the frame of mind that you have right now, or even that I have right now. I know I'm not holding this business more likely than not forever. So timing it becomes a little bit more important than, say, putting a bunch of money into stocks that you know that you're going to hold forever anyways. And eventually the stock market's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's just going to normalize over a great enough period of time. But with a business sale, when you're trying to time it within 2 or 3 years, it does become more important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking more in terms of trading the stock market rather than investing the stock market. When I was doing a lot of trading, I think the stakes are high in this selling your business calculation you're talking about. And I agree, like timing it would be great, but I also feel like whatever event stops this from continuing to go up, which will probably be like, again, some type of economic or financial thing. The market's this is by far and away the longest bull market we've ever had, right? I mean, so like eventually something has to change. Like, I mean, I'm not like doom or gloom or any of these things. I just, this is just being very statistical and pragmatic about the whole situation. Eventually there has to be some sort of correction, or something will happen to like hiccups. You never know what that event's going to be. I mean, it's been, the tech bubble, it's been the financial crisis, it's been a war, or terrorist attack, or whatever. All kinds of crazy stuff happens over a long period of time. And so I feel like what I'll end up like with investors, when something like that happens, they clam up. They become very defensive and want to hold on to their assets, and they're afraid to put their money to work because they want to have cash to deploy or ride through the storm. And if it's something like the 2008 financial crisis, where all of a sudden like everyone's like over leveraged and or doesn't have cash, like the money that they're deploying to buy these businesses will dry up, and therefore the offers will plummet. It'll be very difficult to sell your business. And so I don't want to be playing musical chairs with millions of dollars.
Yep, I totally agree. And either way, I guess hopefully valuations keep ticking up for me and you going into the next year. So we'll see. Hopefully
it'll all end up working out well, because like I had to hit the reset button again for September, as we're talking about, because we're still not in stock for everything right now. Hopefully October is a really good month, and we can then keep things in stock for the next 12 months. I've been trying to really stock up on inventory to make sure that we don't run out moving forward, and we can have 12 consecutive great months, and or 10 at least, and put the business up for sale, and you're predicated on the final 2 months like panning out or whatever it might be.
Interesting. So you're looking at like a September type time frame for an exit now.
Unfortunately. I mean, I thought originally we would have the business sold right now.
Well, there goes my dream of selling together in May or June and going off and taking a month off in Thailand, or doing the Mongol rally.
Ooh, I still want to do that.
Asia. Okay, well, hurry up and sell your business.
I think that I'm actually in a position where I can go do the Mongol rally and keep everything. We got a great team. Things are just rolling along. I mean, I'm not the thing that's the linchpin in any of it anymore. It's pretty cool.